Hey Diva, hey, welcome to another episode of Walk Diva Walk. I have a question for you today. What's love got to do with it? What does love have to do with it? Whoo, can I tell you everything? Everything. Yep, I know you thought I was going to come from a different place, a different angle. Nope. Love has everything to do with it, right? You know, we stay in relationships in the name of love. And when you ask someone, what does love mean to you? And you will have people tell you 12 different meanings of love. And the reason is because of how they were raised, the environment they were in, what they saw, and what they saw, they thought that was love. But do you know that there is a standard of love that God gives us? I always said he told us what it is and what it ain't. Okay? He told it to us. So why are we trying to figure out what it is? Love, the definition of love, is not determined by how somebody so-called loved you. It is what it is. Let me take you somewhere today. I'm going to pull up my trusted phone, y'all, because I don't want to misquote it. 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. Love is patient. Okay. That a definition. It says what it is. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. Now it's telling you what it's not. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. So God told us what love is. And I'm going to keep my phone right here because I just want to reference some of what God said love is and love is not. So it's patient and it is kind. So if somebody says they love you and they're not patient and they're not kind always, because we're human, full of emotions, we make mistakes. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about right down just mean, evil, hateful, abusive, but yet they say they love you and you receive that as love. That's not what God said love is. He said it's patient and it's kind. So if it resembles anything opposite of that, then it's not love. He tells you that it doesn't boast, that it's not proud, that it doesn't dishonor others. So how can someone say they love you, but yet dishonor you? How can someone say they love you, but use you as a joke? How can someone say they love you and the only thing they want to do is take from you? See, you don't have to guess what love is. You don't have to come up with your own interpretation of what love is or what it looks like. You don't have to figure out what it should feel like. The word tells you what it is. It says, ooh, this is a good one. I know I got to say ouch for myself. It keeps no records of wrongs. Oh, yeah, I know that's a hard. How many of y'all hold grudges? How many of y'all hold grudges? How many of you never let anything go? To my lovely wives out there, how many of you bring up everything that he has done wrong and throw it in his face in the midst of an argument, right? Because you have kept record of the wrong. God said that's not love. It said it does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. How many of you out there involved in some deceitful stuff? Some stuff that does not give a good report. Some lies and deception. Oh, that's not love. It says it rejoices in truth. It always protects. Do you feel unprotected? The person that supposedly loves you, do they protect you and your heart at all times? Do they consider you? Always trusts. It's easy to trust someone that loves you when they are operating in the realm of this definition of love. It hopes and it always perseveres. You know, we're human, or we live in this fleshly body, because we are 3-part being. Spirit is who we are, and we live in this body, and we have a soul, right? And so in this body, this fleshly body that we live in, yes, sometimes mistakes happen. The humanistic, as they say, side rears its head. The fleshly side rears its head. And you operate in that space when the emotions, right? The feelings, y'all got to listen to that episode if you haven't. The feelings come up, right? And you're operating in your feelings. A lot of times it will have you operating outside of love, outside of the realm of love, right? And that just takes growth to overcome those things, to not operate in that space. It takes growth and maturity in your faith and in your relationship with God, right? And so, but what does love have to do with it? Everything. Everything. Our first example of love, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. He loved us so much that Christ died on the cross for us. He loved us so much that all of our sins are forgiven as soon as we repent. He loves us so much that we can go wayward and come back home. Oh, can you imagine to be loved like that on earth? Can you imagine to love someone to that depth? Can you imagine? To always being kind to people, to always showing patience, to persevere always, to always have hope. Oh my, so much joy and happiness and peace in that. Who wants to live outside of that? There is nothing good outside of that. It may look like it sometimes. It may appear like it sometimes. It may seem like it because you're on the outside looking in. You don't really know what's going on in a person's heart, in their world, behind the scenes, behind closed doors, in their closet. You just know what social media tells you. But imagine to be around people that operate in the fullness of the definition of love. How about you operate in the fullness of the definition of love? So I want you to think about yourself, because we always could point out the wrong that everybody else has going on with them. We always can see the way that they don't love. We can always judge, right? And critique and criticize what somebody else is doing. But it really isn't about them. This is about you. What does love got to do with it? It has everything to do with it. So I want you to sit with yourself, and I want you to evaluate some areas in your life where that love don't come so easy. So many of us proclaim, I'm just impatient. I just impatient. I can't stand that. You're now speaking against the definition of love. Don't claim that. You are patient. You are kind. You just have to walk in that thing. You got to operate in it. You got to recognize it within yourself and ask God to help tame that impatient spirit, right? So that you operate more in that kind of love, being patient and kind. When it comes to envy, that's a whole nother thing, because this world of technology and all the devices and all of the social media platforms that are out there, and we seeing all of what so-called their life is. Everybody is, posting how great and wonderful their lives are. And sometimes when your life doesn't resemble that, but yet you want it, instead of admiration, it turns into envy and jealousy. And then out of envy and jealousy, you start to make decisions within that envy and jealousy. That's not love. Right? It's not self-seeking, which means that you are seeking to just be all about you. That's different from our selfish and selfless conversation. But when you are seeking to make everything about who you are, what you want, what you can get out of it, how you can use a person to obtain what you want, that's not love, right? So evaluate. Look at the areas of your life and how you respond to things and situations that contradict 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7. And start praying on those things. Start praying that God turn those things around for you. Start praying that when it starts to rise up in you, that you immediately recognize it and you grab hold, take into captive that thought, that emotion, and make a decision to respond another way. Your response is your responsibility. Nobody can make you do anything opposite of what God says you are to do, how you are to act, how you are to respond. Your response is your responsibility, but you have to be aware. And we have lived in the space of, this is just who I am. I'm just me. This is it. It is what it is, right? Y'all remember that? It is what it is, right? Some of y'all got t-shirts that say it. No, it ain't is what it is. Okay, now, yep, said it just like that and I meant it. It ain't, it is what it is. What is it supposed to be? And you have a decision to make if you want to live in the realm of love. Your response is your responsibility, right? And so evaluate these areas in your life. You know what they are. You know how they are. You know how your temper flares up and you go from 1 to 1,000 in less than 60 seconds. You know your mouth can be smart. You know, we think it's cute. Oh, you know, because I'm quick with it. We know your mouth can be smart, right? You can come back with the comeback. All of that. We know. But is that how you want to live? Is that how you want to respond? It is understood that the environment that you grew up in did not depict this type of love. It didn't show you love in this way. That's okay too. Forgive that situation. Now that you know what love is, now that you know where to find the definition of love, it is now your choice, your decision to forgive that type of love and operate in the godly love that he wants you to operate in. It's your decision. You have control of your life. You have the choice to operate inside of love or outside of love. And I challenge you to operate inside of love. My, oh my, you will be amazed at how your life shifts and change, how your feelings shift and change, how your responses shift and change, how your walk is different, how your talk is different, how things don't get under your skin like it used to. When you start operating in this love, you know who you are through and through. So it doesn't matter what anybody else say or does. This is a good place to operate. So I challenge you, Diva. I challenge you. Evaluate the areas of your life that is outside of this love and operate inside of the love that God said that we should. What does love got to do with it? Everything. Everything. Figure it out. You got this. Love someone differently today and watch your tomorrow be better. I love you. I love you, Diva, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Until the next episode, be blessed, live on purpose, and let's walk.